Okay friends, so we're just going to practice adding tenths and hundredths, and in this video I'm going to remind you what the steps are, then we're going to practice by looking at some equations to see if they are true or false, and if they're false we're going to find the correct answer, and if they're true we're going to prove it's the correct answer. So here we go. So remember, the first thing we have to do is we've got to change all of our fractions that have tenths as a denominator to an equivalent fraction that has 100 as a denominator. Then we add the numerators and keep 100 as the denominator. So really the hardest part is the changing, which I bet you're masters at now. Okay, so let's look at what we've got. Are we going to determine if these are correct or incorrect? So 8 hundredths plus 9 tenths equals 17 hundredths. So we're going to either prove it's right or find the right answer. So I know the first thing I've got to do is make sure that they both have 100 on the bottom. So my first fraction already has 100 on the bottom, so I'm just going to keep the numerator the way it is. My other one looks like this, but in order to add this 0 down here to make it 100, I had to add a 0 up there. So now I can already see that this is false, because I know that 8 plus 90 is 98, not 17. So I can see what this student did here was they just added the numerators and changed it to 100, but forgot that in order to make this 100, I needed to put a 0 in both of those spots. So that one would be false. The correct answer would be 98 hundredths. Okay, so let's look at the next one. It says 6 tenths plus 6 hundredths equals 66 hundredths. So I know step one is I've got to get hundredths on the bottom of both of them. So this one's not hundredths yet. If I want to make it hundredths, so I got to put a 0 in both. So that's 60. This one already is hundredths, so I can leave it alone. And 60 plus 6 equals 66. So that one's true. Okay, so that's a true statement. All right, let's keep going. True or false? 42 hundredths plus 2 tenths equals 64 hundredths. Okay, let's test it out. So this one's already hundredths, so I get to keep it the way it is. But this one's not. So in order to make that 100, I have to make that a 10. So this is going to be 20 hundredths. And 42 plus 20 equals 62, not 64. And this should be hundredths, so this should be 62 hundredths. Okay, so that one was false for two different reasons. The addition is wrong and the denominator is wrong. So this one is the correct answer. Okay, I want you to pause and I want you to do the pink problem and the green problem and then come back and check your work. Okay, so if I'm looking at my pink problem, I've got 3 tenths. If I want to make tenths into hundredths, I've got to add a 0 in both. So I end up with 30 hundredths. Same thing here. This is also tenths. 6 tenths. So this is going to be 60 tenths. Oh, my computer's making crazy noises. 30 plus 60 equals 90. Okay. I see what they did here, though, because they were both tenths, they already were common denominators, so the answer is 90 hundredths, but that means it's the same thing as 9 tenths. So it looks like they knew they could just add the numerators because the denominators were the same, but they forgot to just keep the denominator that they had. So this one is false, but the correct answer is here. Okay, so I hope you guys caught that one. All right, next one, it's already hundredths, so I keep it. This one's not already hundredths up here, it's tenths, but I gotta make it hundredths, so I gotta add that 0. So I end up with 40, and I get 47. So that one is already true. My computer's making all kinds of noises. Okay, you're gonna go do the next section of your Google Slides, and then your slideshow will be done after that, and then you'll have a quick quiz to do, and you'll be done for the week. So remember to reach out to me if you need help with this. Remember, step 1 is you got to make it into hundredths. Step 2, you got to add up those numerators and keep hundredths as your denominator. All right, off you go.